Hui. Welcome, welcome. Yate, mabuhay. Buenas. Good afternoon, everybody. Aloha. Thanks for tuning in. Another episode. Here we go. We just keep rolling. We just keep doing it. We just keep chatting, offering thoughts and wisdoms. It is May 7th. Woo! Thursday already. Wow, though. Here we are. Today's amazing guest is, she's right here, is the one and only Pua Case, activist, mother, legend, mai hanai mama, doer of all things, poet, songwriter, oh yes, protector of Mauna Kea. So let's get her on here, shall we? All right. Where's Dantipua? There she is. Let's dig in. Let's hear from the Mauna. Hey, Ma.
Hi, Hui here.
Wee. Looking fabulous.
You too?
Here we are again.
Yeah, here we are. How you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
As good as I can be.
me too.
Great.
I'm fabulous too.
I'm loving your background. I'm assuming that's a real background.
It's a real background. It's a Kapule's room.
Hey,
All the things.
all the things.
Yeah. Like
Can
everybody else, you have to find your office space in your own home, and it's usually your bedroom, your bathroom, your living room, whatever you can find. So
mhm.
here I am.
Yeah, tell us where you are, how you are. I don't know, just in this moment. I'm sure like a lot of folks tuning in today know who you are, but maybe you can give us a little introduction on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to greet everybody first because I'm leaving my dark glasses on, not because I'm cool, but because I need to be able to see the comments. I am cool,
You're very
but
cool.
yeah. And for all of you out there, I can see you tuning in, and I feel really embraced by the medicine tribe, by the Ohana, by all the Kiai that are tuning in. I feel like we are really family, and through my relationship with Nahko and my family with Nahko over the years, um, I either know you because I've been on stage and maybe I don't know you personally, but I felt you. And I've been able to chant, sing, and dance really around the world. And because we've all been connected by Mauna Kea, I believe that like every single person on this today in some way has been connected to all of us, and through you taking the Mauna Kea message through the years as well around the world. I mean, Mauna Kea really is the beacon and the unifier and the pillar and the teacher, the ancestor, the protector, and always the corrector. So I just wanted to say that usually I am you, those of you out there, and I'm putting my little heart and I'm saying aloha to each of you. And today I get to be on this side and just sink in, and not get nervous about really what I'm going to say and who's watching and who's listening, because we all know that most of us are always monitored when we're out there, just looking for any piece of information that we might inadvertently put out there. But for today, I just want you to leave here and say, wow, I felt that.
Mm.
I really felt loved and held and in this together. And so maybe today we're just going to talk about how much I love you. Yeah. Wouldn't that be great? Because that's interwoven all through this thing. But not just that, but how much I love all of you guys and
Mm.
how much that's going to get us through everything that we're facing right now through
Mm.
music music, through arts, through words, through these virtual hugs, through these phone calls, through these Zoom conversations. And so, again, I really love all of you out there. And where I am right now is my home in Waimea on Mokuokeave, Hawaii Island. I just came back from the mountain this morning. The mountain is really only 45 minutes from my house. If they ever dare to try a construction attempt, you best believe I can be up there in 20 minutes.
Woo!
But I've been up there today because it's Law 300 and it's Law 1870 in the larger collective unification for the safeguarding of our sacred places. And so it was really important that I go up there and put a prayer down for all of us and provide an offering, gift that offering that you make early in the morning when you weave those leaves together. And put it on the ahu where we've been together more than one time, really, and where we've stood together to offer prayers for many of you who are on this call today. And then come down and just be able to sit here in this bedroom and talk story and just join my heart with all of yours.
No, you want me to tell you a story? All right. Well, yeah, I'll share a story here because for whoever is listening and doesn't know perhaps some of these things, but you and your family have been in my life for many years now. I'm trying to remember when I first met you. I think I know where it was and I know why it happened, and I'll share that, but I'm trying to remember what year it was. Do you remember what year that was?
2012? It's either 2012 or 13.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I think Havane performed at 12-12-12.
Okay.
I think that was the first gig that we did because I met you at the Palace Theater in Hilo.
Yeah. And she's there today, wouldn't you know? We're just full circle.
She's at the Palace today.
Yes. She's performing by herself today for everybody who's safeguarding at home to an empty theater. It's a program where you dance for all of humanity from the Palace Theater. So wouldn't you know that we met there for the first time and she's there holding it today. Isn't that perfect?
I love it because, that block in Hilo, like I remember walking by that theater one time, and poking my head in, and Makana was performing. And I was just mesmerized by him, of course. And I remember thinking, I'm going to play there one day. And then I think it must have been 2 or 3 years later, lo and behold, I'm performing there. And Havane had reached out to me, I think maybe a few months prior, and we'd met up and we were discussing music. And of course, I think I hadn't, of course, met you yet, and I think it was sometime still after that I hadn't met you, so it must have been months and months after that. And of course, we didn't really get close, you and I, until I think it was the New York March in 2014 that we really started to connect more on a deeper level. I remember seeing you there and getting to march with you and Winona the Duke and Chief Colleen and Nina Gwalinga and her family was there as well. And Atosa was there with the Amazon Watch, and so there's this really great crew. And I remember we were walking along the High Lines, and we did that prayer with Colleen there, and yeah, that was a pivotal time for me. I think it was for a lot of folks, and it really connected me because I felt like, here they were, these three, pillar women that, were soon to be even more important to me. I mean, Winona had been in my life for a number of years already at that point, but I just had met Chief Colleen and and you and I were about to embark on a new relationship together from that point. And I think it was there that Chief Colleen had said I should come visit her um, in Shasta. And so there was sort of over a period of time there, you and I became closer, and there's this like mountain conversation. It's something I wanted to ask you about today. Actually, was the mountains and the mythology behind them, the spiritual, aspect of our relationship to mountains from summit to sea, um, and the volcanoes and the underground tunnels that connect and sort of like, well, the way I saw it was how interesting it was for like even my own ancestry to be connected to, mountains and rivers in this way. And over a period of years now, you and I have traveled um, either together or we've met up, all around the world from Australia to Europe to um, Aotearoa, you know, um, so many different places. And of course, we have so many more places we're going to be going together, Go Team. But we are connected in the dream world. We're connected in with our activism. We're connected with our voices, our music, and then of course we're connected with our families now. In this very spiritual way. And um, uh, I don't really know where I was going with all that, but I
I
wanted
could
to
add,
share some of those things.
I'm going to add to it then.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm going to talk to everybody else that's out there too, because I can see their names coming up, and we know that you are all very important to us. And so maybe we just learn a little bit more about each other today as well. So when I told Nahko to tell me a story, that's because we have these key lines that I know you all have if you have a relationship with him, ways that you connect. And one of the ways is that when we were on the mountain in the early days, in from July maybe to October, and we had frontline action up there, and really we never knew from day to day what would happen and what would be coming for us. Kapule and I lived in a van there during that time. And as I was preparing her for what if mommy got arrested,
Mm,
if the police came for me, just stay in the van, even don't let them see you. Or if I was being arrested, just keep filming. You
hmm
know, those were really real times. I mean, who prepares their kids like that? Who says when you're going to bed at night, if the police come tomorrow, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. And
Frontline
if
communities, marginalized communities, indigenous
right.
communities.
Yeah, you know that. But I didn't know that because we're in Hawaii. And who would have ever thought that we, the native people, you probably know us, we're hula dancers. Yes, we're ritual people. We have a beautiful place we live in. Who would have thought that we'd be standing on mountains saying if mommy's arrested tomorrow or if Havani's arrested tomorrow, just keep filming and then we'll make sure you're taken care of and we have a plan for you. And anyway, where I was going with that is that you would call us in the night, you and our dear friend Cliff from New York, who actually came to the mountain as well. And I'd say, tell us a story. And the reason I'd say that when you'd call is it would take our mind into another place,
hmm
where we wouldn't have to be thinking about what might happen to us, but rather fill me with something else that when I hang up, I have it in my heart. And so we still continue that. So I thought I'd start today by asking you to do that. So I could share with people how that feels and what that means to me when I call you and I just say, tell me a story.
hmm
But I also wanted to add a little bit of spirit to this because what are we without a little bit of spirit? So as Nako was talking about us meeting for the first time, I wanted to share that about a year prior to us ever meeting, and maybe even longer than that, I had received a CD, a homemade CD of Nahko on piano, really just him solo, and a dear friend of both of ours named Kai came up to me and said, "Hey, you got to play this CD. This is because this person is going to be really important in your life." And so here it is, you know. And I did what some of us do. I should have come in and just popped it in and said, "Wow, this is going to be great. I wonder who this is." But I didn't. I brought it in and I put it in my truck and I shut the console and I left it in there for like almost a year and I never listened to it. And then I went to the Hilo powwow like almost a year later and I
Oh
looked
my
on,
God, yeah.
yeah, and I had no idea who Nahko was at that time. But as soon as I heard that song, um, I knew it was you. I was like,
Which
oh my
song was
God.
it?
I'm not sure what you were playing. I no, it was nothing I had heard you play since. It wasn't a
Again,
song.
I don't think that I know, and Aloha Kea Kua wasn't even written yet at that time.
No, no. I would have known that. I would have remembered that. But just the sound of it and the look of Nako on stage and his hair and all of that and how he looked. And I said, oh my God, I bet that's him. Don't ask me why I even knew that or said that out of everybody in the whole world. I just knew it was him. And I went to my truck and I started looking through, you know, all my CDs. And there it was. The CD was still in my truck almost a year later. And I put the CD in and I said, oh my gosh, this is him. This is who's
Mm.
going to be very special in my life. And I didn't connect that with Havani either. And then, you know, months later, she says, hey, I contacted this guy, Nahko. He's a musician, and I think I need to play with him. I need to sing with him. I think we're going to do things together. And I was like, this is how it is. This is how we weave. And that's what I wanted to share today was I know we have a lot of things we can talk about, but just trusting in spirit, trusting when things are meant to be, and that we really do see the huge, bigger picture out there, and that we're patient in it and we believe in it and look where it can go from there. And yes, at the Palace Theater, Havani opened for Nahko. And I actually saw some comments saying that there were people there that are on here today. So if you were there at that very magical evening, I saw that. And just that first hug that we ever had,
Hmm.
first words that you ever told me, sealed that path that we were going to walk together in this life. And so if you've seen me on stage, if you've seen us together somewhere, that's how it all began. And those are the things I wanted to share today with all of you, because I feel an emotional day today because it is Law 300, because we've been doing things for 10 years together, really hard work for the mother, for the sacred, for each other, for 10 years without ever a day off. And today feels like a beautiful day to just sink in and remember why we do what we do and
Mm.
how special it is when we don't have to do it alone.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
yeah, that is beautiful, isn't it? I mean, you
That's the
got
big one.
people out here just writing the most wonderful comments that when I hang up from this call, I'm going to take all of your comments with me. So thank you. Yeah. So, but we also kick ass too. So don't get me wrong here. You know, I need this moment. I need this moment to sink into me. But, you know, if you're out there right now and you know us, it's like stand like a mountain, flow like a river, keep that
Hmm.
fire burning, and then move forward one step at a time. You know, chant louder, you
Hmm.
know, sing, and we got to stand stronger. And it's work, but it's beautiful work. So we do that as well. So, you know, we're really deep and we're fierce in the love of what we stand for. And
Hmm.
I'll be the first one to say, we warrior up, you know, every single day. That's what drives us. That's why we are the people that we are. That's why we can stand on stages that are around the world and stand on the stage that is the Mauna herself and put everything we have into what we do. And that's because the fire is burning in all of us, especially right now. No matter if we're at home, no matter where we are, we see the purpose that we have been living all of this time, being guided into the next steps of what we need to be doing. So this is a really pivotal time. Didn't we say 2020? Clear all your SHIT up in 2019. So 2020, we would be able to see with clarity. And if this isn't making us see in clarity, I don't know what will. Our present situation, what we're dealing with right now, knowing that the messenger is here. So it's 2020, are we seeing clearly to be able to move forward and make the decisions and the changes and the transformations that we all been talking about? Because the mother just was able to take a big breath in this time, like a really deep, big breath. And what are we going to do to ensure that that heartbeat and that pulse is going to be able to continue for the higher good for us all? So, just wanted to get that in because just wanted to make sure I got all that in.
Yeah, there's time
Yeah.
for it. That's what we're here for. We're here to listen to you.
Oh man.
Woo! It's because we know how to rodeo.
That's right, because this ain't our first rodeo. And we all know that. And yeah, we are here to honor the earth, and we are here to sing the songs, and we are here to make the statements and paint the pictures, and we are all here to do all of that and more and much more, and
Mm,
hopefully be in the joy of it, even as we are in the work of it.
mm,
Because if not, what are we doing this for? If we're not living in our full power, like you always say, take your power back, that's what we're doing right now. No matter what the situation, we're choosing our words carefully, aren't we? We're looking at our actions and making sure they're aligned with something that is going to be beneficial for all, for the earth, but for the higher good.
mhm,
We're either beneficial or detrimental at this point. There ain't no gray line in between.
mm,
So we got to get on with it and do the best that we can and really sink into how our lives have been so far and how it's going to lead us into the next steps of what we need to do. Rather, for me, if it's stand on the mountain in the next week or in the next month, and I know some of you out there have asked, where are we with the Mauna right now? We are off of the mountain right now as a movement. We made that decision in March, the end of March, and we came down for a variety of reasons, but we are very much in it. We have been in it for 10 years. We know how to do this. So trust and believe in us is what I say. Be positive about a movement when you see it, whether you're in it or from a distance, because we need the support. We need the aloha. We need
mm,
the strength, and we need the understanding, and that you trust in our decisions. So we came down for a number of reasons. We came down because there was at the time no imminent threat of construction. We'd been up there for 8.5 months in a lava field. And once there was no imminent threat, coupled with the fact that we needed to really pool our resources, because it takes a lot to live on a mountain, and you go from 30 people to 3,000 people, even in one day. And you hold a ritual, a ceremony 3 times a day that draws thousands of people to come and pray on a mountain. And then here came this virus, if you will, this messenger, if you will. And when it started to make its way to Hawaii, and I will say we're really blessed. We're not in the same situation as many of you around the world. And I'm going to make sure that I'm very sensitive
mm,
about how I speak about what's happening right now, because we have 600 some cases, but we only had one new case yesterday. So I'm not speaking as if I really understand. Well, I understand what's happening, but if I'm living that with.
Sure. Oh, I think we lost you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Anybody else hear her? Yeah, there's no sound. Yeah, there's no sound. She'll be right back after this short message. Can you guys hear me? Hey,
Am
just break.
I calling in? Sorry. So it's something. Yeah, she's like boom, boom, boom.
Will you
So
text her and
sorry,
tell her
but
that you're talking to me?
yeah, can I just do that for a second? Can you tell a
Yeah, of
story?
course. Yeah,
Okay.
of course. I'll tell a story. All right. Well, while she texts Havani, I just wanted to share some things about Antipua that maybe some of you guys don't know. Um, she is such a channel for, well, she is such a channel. And as you can tell when she speaks from her heart and she speaks um, directly what comes to her in those moments. And so I was just telling them that what a powerful channel you are. And, you know, from the spaces where you are just dropping in and you're doing your protocols and your chants, like I remember, well, before I get too much into it, it's like, you are just such a powerful pillar, and what you do in the space that you are channeling, it's so amazing to watch because on one hand, there has been multiple songs that have been inspired by things that you have said to me uh, on this album in particular, Take Your Power Back. Bend Like the Willow, the song on the album, uh, is that Shu?
Yes.
Hi.
We're just hanging out in your room.
I know. Did you text feedback or call her?
Yeah, but I'm on an interview with all of these people
I
right
know you
now.
are, but she's.
Okay, let's carry on. Let's hear life.
Did you text her? Did you text Ivana?
Yes, I did, dear.
All right, cool. Um, and yeah, so there's certain songs on this album in particular that were very inspired by your poetry. I mean, I remember so clearly whatever year it was when we were in Germany together, I believe, and we were gonna. Yeah, Havani, we're talking right now, okay? She's like, oh, hey. You and Lon and I and I think um Matthias, we went to go speak to the whales,
Yeah.
and because they had some deep messages you guys needed to chant to them, and I remember you telling me at that time, you said you are braver than your fears, and so that's been embedded in that song Been Like the Willow, and there's multiple songs that have we sort of
Yes.
in our relationship when we started hanging out a lot more, we were just always spitting lyrics to each other and working on, you're like, you got to write a song about that, you know so working on songs, co-writing songs, I guess you could say, really. So um but then getting to watch you be the the powerful, you know the powerful chanter that you are as well, like when we were all together in Aotearoa, and we were at that function that they were dancing that their a tribute, I think it was, to the Mauna, and they finished the tribute, and you and I were sitting in the middle, and Havana and I and you were there. We were sitting there, and then you were like, "I gotta respond," and I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." just like waiting. I was just like waiting, you know, I was like, mom's about to bust out her thing. And then you stood up and you just were like, "Dah!" and like just chanted, and we all stood up, and I was like, I got chills, I got teary eyed. I was like, oh, whoa. It was just like this powerful experience to just always, time and time again, doesn't matter where we are, watch you do your thing
Mm.
and silence a room, silence like the most gruff, you know, and you know, macho indigenous dudes, you know, like to literally be humbled and silent and you know give their respects. And you know when I think about uh you know just that mana that you carry, whether you're sharing it with me, or your family, or you know frontline communities, or um, uh, anybody in general, as we are, travel across this beautiful planet, like your poetry is just so unique and beautiful, and I think everyone is just struck by it. And so I want to thank you and give you an early Happy Mother's Day, because you are such a important person in my life, an important mother figure in my life, and an important mother figure for many people, and a wonderful, just a all around wonderful young lady,
Thank you.
kicking ass, taking names.
That's right. And I'm going to say the same. You know, Nako, I mean, who would have ever thought? Like we always say at the end of a conversation, you know, love you forever, love you more, oh, this life, you know, there's a weaving that happened between my family and you, and the stars just, you know, all lined up, and somebody said pick him, and I said okay, I will. And you said the same, you know, you said the same. Okay, I'll pick them, I'll let them in. And I'm going to say that to everybody, if that's happening for you, you know, there's special people that come into your life, and you're just guided by the spirit. And really for us, that was sealed at Lake Waiau early on in our relationship, really after the Palace Theater, the Aloha Aina festivals, things like that, you know. We found our way to the mountain, to Lake Waiau, and I got my obsidian and you got the gravel.
Hey,
Yeah. And I mean, there's been exchanges, like real exchanges. And when we use the term Hanai, as Nako will say sometimes on stage or in conversation or interviews, that's a really dear term to us. We don't take that term lightly. It's a term that comes from generations before us, and it literally means to feed someone and to take care of someone. And it's not like it's a ceremonial, really a ceremonial, ritualistic way of saying this person is now a family member, and it's steeped in tradition. And so when someone says that's my Hanai auntie, my Hanai mother, my Hanai father, that is there's a it's almost undefinable what that really means. It's like somewhere in between a lot of English terms, and if you have your own native terms for that, you know that it's not something easily definable. And so I don't take that lightly. That's become a role for me. Um, I have many nephews now in this work, many nieces, you know, younger people that call me auntie, that I'm proud to be a part of their lives. And then there's you, and yeah, we've gotten ourselves, you know, and each other through a lot of things, through a
mm,
lot of great ceremonial things, through hard times, through great times. You laugh together, you cry together, you know, you do it all, and it's real. You know, our lives are really real. They're, you know, and
woo!
yeah, we're real. And what I'm missing right now, and so what I'm really missing before I leave here is we made a pact when we went through this ceremony together. And the pact was that we'd see each other at least 4 times a year. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we'd meet up somewhere, Havania, Kapule. We'd meet at a venue. We sometimes we just do a show with medicine for the people one night, and then we're off to another place. Sometimes we get to surprise Nahko, like when we drove across Germany to France and surprised him before he went on stage. You know, there's things like that. And I think what's probably one of the things that I'm feeling that I miss the most is that I miss the travel. I bet we all do. We miss, of course, our livelihoods. You know, if we travel and sing, or I travel and present on the Mauna a lot and ceremony. But I'm missing that. I'm missing with you personally. I'm missing our 4 times a year pack of seeing one another. And so we've made a promise, everyone, that we're going to go someplace where nobody knows our name. And we're going to have a little retreat when this is over, where we can just be visible to one another, but invisible to the rest of the world, and just realize, oh, this life. Oh, this life. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say too much and I don't want to leave something unsaid. So, family out there, I hope you're feeling our hearts today,
Mm.
and knowing how much we mean to one another, how much Nako means to my Ohana, how much you all are family to both of us. And when we forward in that way, we're never going to be alone, for one, but we're all holding each other up, and we are standing strong as mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Imauna, unshakable, aren't we?
Mm. Yes, I think it's just really special that, we get to share our experience. For me, I get to share my elders quite a lot with our communities. Um, there are particular ones that, like yourself, and then, Uncle Doug Goodfeather and Uncle Cliff, and, um, that I hold very close to me, like Auntie Colleen and Auntie Winona. And it's a special thing to share with folks because it's, I think we both understand so deeply, not just the importance of Ohana, but also the importance of relatives and how close we keep each other, and how important it is to have elders and have, those kinds of teachers, those spiritual parents, in our lives, that we can lean into and get those pearls of wisdom and understand, different perspectives. And as voyagers, in that sense, wherein, our ancestors were voyagers. That's where we love. That's why we love to be gypsies. We love to travel and explore and connect and go through the different, portals of time and space, and end up in these places, and then speak to the spirits through music and chanting and our presence, and having that kind of relationship with the movement, literal movement, and the context of movement, is fascinating, and is a joy. And I'm so grateful I get to do that with you. I mean, and have such powerful, relatives that we get to share these kinds of interactions, and share our love for each other as well, in a public way, and witness other people receive from that as well. Is Lon trying to call you again?
No, Hualalai is.
You see, here's the funny thing is that some people think I'm famous, and I think that's hilarious because I don't perceive that. I think that I might be well known, perhaps. And then you and I joke about it all the time, because I'm like, you go to Big Island, or you go to Hawaii, or you go, Antifa is pretty famous. At least like my friends, I think I've been interrupted during one of these lives maybe like twice, And like you're like over there, people are like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Okay, you know, this is the kind of calls I get on here. Okay, remobilization. Are we remobilizing soon? Do you think they're coming? Those are the kinds of calls and text messages I'm getting. The governor just said that. Should we be readying? And then there's Hualalai who just said, Auntie, you need some vegetables. I'm gonna bring you some vegetables. You know, you get all of those, and um, yeah. So it's kind of constant, but I'm just kind of pushing everything to the side because not everybody knows that I'm on this most important, beautiful call with you today, and I think I just want to share. Maybe one experience that we had together that I felt like really solidified us as well.
Mm,
Uh, so for all of you who went to Standing Rock in 2016, Havani and I went twice. We went in September, and then we were asked by the camp itself to come back in December of 2016. And I remember calling them back and saying, you don't want me there in December. I think I'm going to be a liability. I'm not even sure if I'll survive a brutal but beautiful winter in North Dakota, of all places. And if you know Hawaii, you know that we're not made for that. And I remember the moment that I called you and I said, Lon and I are going to North Dakota in December. And you said to me, I'm not going to let you go by yourself.
hmm
And you had things to do right before, right after the week that we were going, but you managed to jump on a plane, get yourself to North Dakota, rent us a van, pick us up from the airport,
Picking
and
up all of
send
your freaking bags. You had so many
pick up
bags.
200 damn bags
Bruh,
only
I remember I
because,
showed up and
no,
you and
wait,
Lon
wait,
were there. You had so many bags, and I was like, "Oh my God."
no, but that was because we brought supplies. You
I
know
know,
how
I
you,
know, I know, but it was
yeah, you
crazy.
never
And then like I was
go
trying to
some.
open the van door's frozen shut, and I was like free. I was like trying to open and get all the stuff in there. I was like, "All right, we're good. Let's go."
But we made it. We
We
made it.
did. We fucking
Yeah,
made it,
we
man.
made it. And we actually filmed Love Letters to God, remember, out there in a whole day. And I thought we were both going to just freeze to the Neverlands,
Well, yeah.
you know.
Well,
And
Havana did.
yes, she did. And she got really in there, just like she knew she would, but she
Yeah.
still warriored on and had to be there. But the fact that you said, I'm not going to let you go by yourself to such a place. And then, of course, when I said, well, I'm going to go to Aotearoa, you said, well, I'm not letting you go there by yourself either.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. So just those times and those things. And so when you see us together on stage, and what I'm trying to share today is when you see us, I think you'll see us with deeper eyes and an open heart, and you'll say, wow, that's special. And that's why it's special, and it's really apparent, and I don't just see it but I feel it, and I really want to bring that to all of you today, that we that, like I said, that we leave this call and we see that that this love is really big, and for my girls and myself and for the boys, you know,
hmm
because you guys are all my boys,
hmm
um, that this bond is secure, it's tight, you know, and it gets us through everything, gets us
hmm
through everything. And if we can share that today with everybody who's staying indoors, or who are less fortunate or challenged, or I don't know what everybody's going through, that who are out there, but we know we don't need to know. What we need to do is just share as much as we can of the vibration of our heart that goes through all things and reaches all people, and just say, we're here for you in this very moment. You know, it's like the
hmm
vibration of music. the words of a song. Like whenever you start to sing, whenever we start to chant, you cannot help but be lifted by that. You cannot help that.
Mm-hmm.
And so just in the way that we are connected with one another, and the way that we conduct ourselves around each other, that people feel that, and they walk away and they feel good. Yeah. That
Cool.
they feel the love that we feel, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, all my comments froze. So if people are writing things to me, I can't
Oh,
see it anymore because it froze. And
they're
so,
saying such sweet things about you.
are they really? Yeah, you know why?
Yeah,
Because I invited all my friends.
that's right. If everybody today who's tuning in wants to send Auntie Pua Case a DM and wish her the most beautiful, epic Mother's Day weekend, you should do that after we get off here. And she hasn't been able to read the comments, so please send her some love and aloha. And I send you my love and aloha back to you in Shu's room. Is Lon at the house?
No, no, she's on. I think she's probably on her way to the Palace Theater.
Oh, that's right.
I do want to invite all of you to go to Actions for Mauna Kea or Protect Mauna Kea Instagram, because we are putting out an invite today. You know, keeping count of your movement. If you're in a movement right now, keeping count of the days is really important, because it keeps us engaged, it keeps us focused, and it provides that inspiration every day. Like, wow, we made it one more day. And you can be anywhere around the world. It's not about being on the mountain, it's about being for the mountain and for the sacred. So being that it's Law 300 today, what we put out is an invitation for everybody to send their favorite photo of the last
Mm.
300 days. If you've stood for the mountain in any way, prayed for us, supported us, whatever you might have done for Mauna Kea, which means you've done for really all islands and the whole earth. You're invited to send a photo in. We're putting a video together to Havani's song, Together We
And
Rise.
what's it, Mom? Where do you want them to go to? I'm going to pin a link here.
If you can post it, and all the information really is on Protect Mauna Kea, but you can tag Protect Mauna Kea Instagram, or you can post it on Actions for Mauna Kea Facebook page, and we'll add you to our video, because we want to show the faces and the hands and the hearts from around the world. I mean, we have hosted every single nation on the access road of Mauna Kea in the past 8.5 months, and we want to remember that and showcase that every day. So please, you're invited to do that, and I hope that you do, so you can be a part of everything. And then just follow us, because at some point we might have to put a kahea or a call out that says they're coming right now. See you on the Mauna. And
Mm-hmm.
you might not be there with us. It might be impossible, but you can be there with a prayer. You can be there with a private message. You can be there with a post. You can be there with your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And we do the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, what we're facing, what all of us as Native people who are standing right now are facing, is to protect the sacred for everyone. Because the sacred of the mountains, the water, those are the vibrations that connect and hold this earth together. And if you have your old stories, you know that. And you do, I hope, still believe in that. And we do. So we have no choice but to stand. It's not about a telescope. It's not about science. It's not all about education and construction jobs. It's about safeguarding the energy grids. It's about protecting the ley lines. It's about the communication between one mountain to another. It's about protecting the water that falls on the highest mountain in the whole earth from the seafloor. It's
Mm-hmm.
about that first water that falls from the heavens. It's about protecting all of that. And 18 stories is the one too many and the one too big. So we're not merely standing because an 18-story building might be built on the top of our mauna. No, we're saying it will never be built, because especially at this time, during situations like this is where we go to the sacred. This is where we put our prayers to the heavens. And if you haven't safeguarded that, then where are you going to go? And as we always say here in Hawaii, if not now, when? And the when is right now. And the sacred is right here. So for some of us, there's no turning back. And so here we are, safeguarding our sacred mauna.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all that today and taking the time to come off the mauna and get on Instagram with little old bear.
You know how we are.
What we do for our family.
That stand on 2 feet in the woods. That's who we are.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
All those dreams.
Yep. Oh yeah. Ooh. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna tell everybody that you're also going to be joining us soon again for our release day. We're having a pretty big event. It hasn't been fully announced yet, but everyone that's tuning in is getting to hear some special updated news right now. And we're going to talk more about the album, about your involvement in it, and the things that you helped inspire, and the pieces that you also helped put together for this Take Your Power Back album. So thanks so much, Ma. Love you so much. Thanks for sharing today. Really appreciate it. I think it lifted up a lot of people's spirits. And once again, if you want to DM her, send her some Mama Day weekend love. Please do that. All right, Mama. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Aloha. Are we back? Okay, we're back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. That was a really sweet chat. Very different from yesterday's conversation with Deb. Oh my God. Oh man, the different vibes, different spaces we find ourselves in. So again, it's tagged down below here, Protect Mauna Kea. You can go there and check out some of the things that they're putting together for Law 300. And I want to just extend all my love to the Kanaka Maoli, to Polynesia, to the Cases, to my sisters, and Pua, and for all of you today tuning in. Happy full moon, Scorpio full moon. Big vibes, setting intentions, and staying as grounded as we possibly can. I'm going to sign off now. Happy Mother's Day weekend to everybody, to all the mamas. And I'll see you all again very soon. Sunday service is yet again right around the corner. What the hell? It's already time. Whew. I'm going to get outside, get a little fresh air. And I love you all very much. Ciao. Aloha.